and genetically of sight, sound, taste, or even mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. There's a signpost up ahead. Next stop, Jake Stief. Hi, I'm Jakey Stief, and today I'm going to review the great book, Tunnel in the Sky by Robert A Heinlein. First off, let me tell you that it's nearly impossible or very hard to give a book review without telling any of the plot or story. I will warn you that there may be a few spoilers in here which could potentially ruin your reading experience. I will try to reveal what is only absolutely necessary in order to convince you that you should or should not read this book. So basically this takes place sometime in the future. Earth is overpopulated, and, well, so are hundreds of thousands of other planets for that matter. Technology has advanced sufficiently. People can teleport, travel through time, etc. The main character is a teenager named Rod Walker, and his goal is to master the high school survival course. Rather than having to take a simple exam, he would literally have to survive for up to 10 days in an unknown place. He would know absolutely nothing of this place. He wouldn't know the planet he's on, the terrain he has to face, the climate, types of animals that live there, etc. This exercise can literally be lethal. Him and the rest of his class is teleported to the same region and unknowingly placed with 3 other classes. Before they leave, however, they are inflicted with the fear of a vicious beast called the stober. Rod steps into a seemingly tranquil terrain, much like that of Earth. Over a number of days of surviving the foreign land, Rod stumbles upon another survival student named Jack, who is of a different class. Jack quickly convinces Rod of a certain fact, which I won't tell you, and it's important, and it changes part of the story. The sun rises and sets, and they soon realize that it has been more than 10 days. It comes to the realization that the gate which will teleport them back to civilization was not going to appear. They were stuck there. Living with the belief that they would need to group with more people in order to survive, Rod and Jack start making signals in order to bring more people in. Now we get to the point in the book where it becomes very similar to Lord of the Flies. Now Lord of the Flies was written in 1954, this was written in 1955. I find it very ironic that they were written 1 year apart, they had the same cause, but very different effects. In Lord of the Flies, it's about a group of kids who are isolated from civilization, and they literally tear people apart in order to survive. In this book, the kids don't do the same thing. They group together, form their own civilization, and do anything they can to survive. They start building their own city, literally. They form government, start forging metal, building houses. It's quite amazing what they do in this book. I definitely enjoyed reading how this bunch of kids erected their own form of life from scratch. I mean, it's not easy to do, as you can imagine. This book is stunning, just as most of Robert A. Heinlein's other books are. I was on the edge of my seat, reading it any chance I could. I think I would much enjoy trying to cope with the situation they're in, seeing if my survival skills were worthy to do what they did in this book. So, overall, I rate this book a 5 out of 5. It is a great read indeed. I definitely wouldn't suggest anyone under the age of maybe 13 should read this book. The way he words a few things at the beginning may be a bit difficult for someone to understand. So now I'm going to read a bit of the first chapter to you, see how you like it. Once again, great book. I hope I convinced you to read it. Yep. Start reading the first chapter. Part of the first chapter. Chapter 1. The Marching Hordes. The bulletin board outside Lecture Hall 1712A of Patrick Henry High School showed a flashing red light. Rod Walker pushed his way into a knot of students and tried to see what the special notice had to say. He received an elbow in the stomach, accompanied by, "Hey, quit shoving." "Sorry, take it easy, Jimmy." Rod rocked the elbow in a bone breaker, but no pressure on, craned his neck to look over Jimmy Throxton's head. "What's on the board?" "No class today." "Why not?" A voice near the board answered him. "Because tomorrow it's, 'Hail Caesar, who we are about to die.'" "So?" Rod felt his stomach tighten, as it always did before an examination. Someone moved aside, and he managed to read the notice. Patrick Henry High School, Department of Social Studies. Special notice to all students, course 410. Elective Senior Seminar, Advanced Survival, Instructor Dr. Matson, 1712A MWF. Note 1. There will be no class Friday the 14th. Note 2. 24-hour notice is hereby given of final examination in solo survival. Students will present themselves for physical check at 0900 hours Saturday in the dispensary of Templeton Gate and will start passing through the gate at 10100 hours using 3-minute intervals by lot. Note 3. Test conditions. A. Any planet, any climate, any terrain. B. No rules, all weapons, any equipment. C. Teaming is permitted, but teams will not be allowed to pass through the gate in company. D. Test duration is not less than 48 hours, not more than 10 days. Note 4. Dr. Matson will be available for advice and consultation until 1700 hours Friday. Note 5. Test may be postponed only on recommendation of examining physician, but any student may withdraw from the course without administrative penalty up until 10100 hours Saturday. Note 6. Good luck and long life to you all. Signed, B.P. Matson, Social Studies Director. Approved, J.R. Rorich, for the board. Rod Walker reread the notice slowly while trying to quit the quivers in his nerves. He checked off the test conditions. Why, those were not conditions, but a total lack of conditions, no limits of any sort. They could dump you through the gate, and the next instant you might be facing a polar bear at 40 below, or wrestling an octopus deep in warm salt water. Or, he added, faced up to some 3-headed horror on a planet you had never heard of. He heard a soprano voice complaining, 24-hour notice? Why, it's less than 20 hours now. That's not fair. Another girl answered, What's the difference? I wish we were starting this minute. I won't get a wink of sleep tonight. If we are supposed to have 24 hours to get ready, then we ought to have them. Fair is fair. Another student, a tall, husky Zulu girl, chuckled softly. Go on in. Tell the deacon that. Rod backed out of the press, taking Jimmy Throxton with him. He felt that he knew what Deacon Matson would say, something about the irrelevancy of fairness to survival. He chewed over the bait in paragraph 5. Nobody would say boo if he dropped the course. After all, advanced survival was properly a college course. He would graduate without it. But he knew deep down that if he lost his nerve now, he would never take the course later. Jimmy Throxton said nervously, What do you think of it, Rod? Well, I hope you liked his style of writing. Before I leave you, I'd like to read one of my favorite quotes from this book. It's also at the beginning. But the young man was dressed only in walking shorts and soft bush shoes. Friends, he said, we are gathered here tonight to found a new nation. He paused to let the idea sink in. You know our situation. We fervently hope to be rescued. I will even go so far as to say that I think we will be rescued. Eventually. It might be tomorrow. It might be our descendants 1,000 years from now. But when the main body of our great race reestablishes contact with us, it is up to us whether they find a civilized society or flea-bitten animals without language, without art, with the light of reason grown dim, or no survivors at all, nothing but bones picked clean. That is it. Buy this book